Wait, are we muted? Or are we managed to mute my? What did you forget? You're such a smart boy. I bet your mama's proud. Ooh. Oh, God. Oh, I see it. Did you hear he made a remix for that new Persona dance game? For Decky? Yeah, okay, you know, there's like those dance rhythm game spin-offs for Persona. He made a remix for Persona 3 dancing one. Oh, I can hear us in the call. Screwed up. So you know they can hear us through the server, right? Yeah, both of us. I heard it. You screwed up. I even told you screwed up in the chat. Oh man, I sound so bad with this phone. I'm like hearing myself through it. Jesus. Hey, getting fancy. Ooh. Ooh. Getting all stylish in here, baby. I'm on my phone. I only have like 22%. I'm not gonna live long. Alright, I guess we started, right? You can do it! I believe in you! There you go. Now, you want to be all pretty boy fancy with us? Get a little server, get a no call?
Volume now. Okay, so...
really, yeah.
Okay, now I'm good. Okay, so first I need to ask everyone... Someone said they can't join the Discord server. Crap! Okay, let's try this again. First of all, how do we sound? Is there any audio problems? Are we too loud? Are we too quiet? Feel free.
I hear myself. I sound like totally fine besides my voice is sounding like ass.
Oh man, let's see. What are we doing here?
You sound just fine. Pissing me off.
Oh man. Yeah, he just DM'd me. Oh, that feel when we're not muted. It was... Oh. Oof. That ain't a good look. Alright. I don't like how Discord does this. Praise the sun, they just joined. Ready Player just joined. It's super effective.
They joined.
They just slid into the server. Like, go home, man. No one wants to see that. Alright.
They literally joined a while ago.
No, but I mean, I hate how Discord does that little talk thing. Ah, man. But yeah, I'm just... Is the audio... Is the background noise too loud? That's pretty much what I'm asking.
Who the hell joined?
I have no idea. They did...
It's me. I joined.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey. Because I have like...
I'm Agent T from...
Oh my god, he's loud. I'm gonna turn you down.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
Oh, man.
Forgive you!
It's cool, man. Like, alright. I have to... There's still a bunch of things I have to sort out. This is all just a test to see if this all works out. So, let's see. I'm playing No Mistakes by Kanye. And nobody's recognized it. Epic Gamer 7.
Oh, they're pansy.
Oh,
They're
man.
pansy. They're not gonna join.
Yeah,
They're
no,
gonna sit there like,
it's
dude.
cool, man. Don't worry. Alright.
Is it cool, Tully? Is it cool?
Nearly. The stream's starting pretty much now. Let me just lower everything. Because every time, too little is too much. It's crazy. Alright.
Oh crap, there's my dogs. Follow me across the door.
Beautiful. Alright, this is going amazing so far.
These are the organic sounds of the dogs we like.
Yeah.
It gives
I have no
vibe,
idea what
you
we
know?
sound like, but okay. Again, we can... I don't know how far we are into this. We're 8 minutes into this. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna... I could...
What are you gonna do?
I might say let's start at the 10-minute mark. Like, as soon as we hit 10 minutes in, that's when we'll start talking. Because I kind of just want to settle in on everything.
Are you
Okay.
saying this
Hey, I'm gonna
conversation
be
we're having right now is not good enough?
Everything.
Wait, sorry, I can't hear. Sorry.
I'm gonna be muting my mics just so I can do a thing on another thing.
Oh, yeah, sure, go wild. Let's go.
Guys, I'm pretty sure everyone from the Court Records V3 server hates me.
Oh, jeez, man. No need to be so self-deprecating, man. It's like, life is life, man. It's good. Alright, let's see. Yeah. Okay, so somebody wants us to talk about like the Ace Attorney season 2 anime, so we could talk about that.
Of course, you're gonna bring up something I don't like right off.
Yeah, I mean, that's what someone said. We can talk about it. It covers Trials and Tribulations.
We'll talk about it.
Alright,
so
cool.
right off the bat, wow, I can't talk right now.
Oh, that's
Stolen
cool.
Turnabouts.
Yeah.
First case, I think they realized that they fucking skipped over her and they couldn't like bring up Maggie like they already know her. So they had to bring her back for this case.
I just think it's kind of funny how, like, I think it's funny how there had to have been someone in that meeting room that was just like, You guys can't do Trials and Tribulations yet. What about the Lost Turnabout? It's just like nobody cares.
No, like I think the board meeting is like they were making the cases for Trials and Tribulations to make it like a, 24 episodes, and they were like, "Fuck, I think we screwed up."
Yeah.
So in Trials and Tribulations, they should know Maggie by now. She can't just appear. I guess we gotta add her in.
I'm gonna play some Megaloo books. Yeah.
It weirdly works in a way, if you really think about it, because the Maggie case does work conceptually, because it does tackle themes of love and loss. But there's
kind
no,
of.
like,
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
that's the thing, loosely. But at the same time, there's none of the like they do with every case show how like the courtroom's corrupt.
Ah, someone recognized Megaloo Box. Carry on. Sorry.
I know you're so excited about putting that soundtrack in there.
Yeah, I know.
I bet you paid your bottom dollar for it.
Yeah, keep going, man. Keep going. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Now you fucking.
I'm sorry if I threw you off. As like someone recognized it. I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, boy. Alright, so I think
What the hell was
what
that?
was it? Like, I remember like in the sound, in like they said original case. I think that's the thing I'm most interested in, because it's literally a filler case, like an actual literal filler case.
Is it like? Do we know?
They didn't have probably enough episodes.
Do we know that it's a case, or like is it something bigger than that?
I think they're making an original case, like for the season.
Like, I heard it was just like an episode and it was called like Turnabout Train or something. I don't know.
They're finally doing a murder on the train? What? I don't even know they had a name yet.
No, I mean, is it even a case? I thought it was going to be like a flashback thing, like, how Godot got poisoned, how Mia reacted to it, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of, I imagine it's going to be like a flashback thing. Like,
I hate how this even exists.
What, the Ace Attorney anime?
It hurts so much because Trials and Tribulations is just a special game for me. And people who, like, let's say they never heard of Ace Attorney and they watch the anime, now they can't play the games because they just got spoiled on it.
Well, I mean, they can. It's just, I mean,
it's just
the experience won't be the same. I don't know. A train killer. I don't know if it's a case. I don't know.
No, like every twist is like done much more poorly. The animation's not very good. The pacing's a mess.
I mean, overall, I think the universal thing with everyone is just that, hey, play the games. They're probably better, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's sad that, like, let's say someone who would be interested and just never heard of this series before. Like, let's say they didn't even know it was a video game, that they just ruined the experience for them.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of like, and like, I would be more okay with this if the anime was actual quality. This ain't a Madhouse production. This is like literally the bottom of the barrel A1 pictures.
I don't
the McDonald's of anime.
Personally, I just kind of wanted like, I just wanted like something fun. I know it was so unrealistic, and my reaction was very like, what were you expecting? The general reaction I got for when I was like, I don't care about the Ace Attorney anime was, what were you expecting? Of course it was going to be an adaptation, and I'm gonna be like, yeah. But like, I don't care about seeing the Ace Attorney series done again.
Madhouse made a Devil May Cry anime, and like, okay, it wasn't good, but it wasn't like telling the story. It had its own unique original story with the characters again. I
mean, I don't know what to say. It's just the Ace Attorney anime is just like, we've all seen the story before. It's just a matter of what's original, what's going on, what's new, essentially.
Like I try to think of this stuff. So I'm gonna have to talk with people who probably will watch the anime first. And I try my best to make them not watch it. That's like my goal.
I don't think anyone wants anyone to watch the anime though. It's like, it's one of those things.
Yeah. It's like, I wanted it to be good. Like, if it was good, then sure, it still sucks that they would miss out playing the game, but it's like, let's say something like Steins Gate, whether you like it or not, like, at least there's an enjoyable experience through watching the anime. Instead of reading the visual novel. So it's like like there's not even like really any substance in like the anime besides a few fun scenes.
Yeah, I was about to say there's some fun scenes. From what I saw, it's like there's some fun scenes in there, but it's just like if you're like hardcore Ace.
Like, you can tell like the management in this anime. Like it's A1 Pictures. If you probably don't know anime studios.
I know a decent. I know some of them, but like I don't know a lot. Yeah, go out.
A1 Pictures is so inconsistent because people get like it's like getting a job at like McDonald's, as people say. It's like you work there, you do your shift, that's it. They're making like over like 12 animes per year, even more than that. So like you see in the anime, you see all these different styles because they just bring in different animators to do like certain stuff. So the quality is just all fucking over. Like remember the Steel Samurai scene where you see like this really good animation.
Actually, yeah, I think
Larry
this.
Butts where he moves his face like really
crazily. I think that one scene
in the worst animation.
That was like Turnabout Goodbyes. That was a good scene. I remember that. It was like
that was not Turnabout Goodbyes. I'm talking about.
No, I mean,
the Larry
the Larry thing. Yeah, that part. Yeah, that was in Turnabout Goodbyes. I remember seeing that.
It's like you can tell like there were totally different people. Like you can tell it was like just in between frames by someone else.
Yeah, it's very this Tony anime is very inconsistent, I guess, and that's kind of the issue.
It really is inconsistent. Like you just watched Megalobox. Could tell like any of those were animated by different people for certain scenes?
Not really, no.
Not.
Oh man, another anime that I've been watching recently
that's what we call good management.
Yeah, that's like animation supervisors, I believe.
Space Dandy, like Watanabe's Space Dandy.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah,
it's like every episode's kind of its own fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched Space Dandy.
They can easily get away with something like that.
I watched.
That's why I'm like okay with a show like.
Yeah, go on, sir.
It's really not a thing that I don't know. I feel like the most ideal company working on this anime was Madhouse, since they've worked and experienced with Capcom before, and they made shows like Haji and like Death Note and stuff like that. So it's like they know how to make these logical driven shows.
Yeah, I can see what you
Very
mean.
fun and interesting with like a visual flair to it. Like that's what I want the most from an Ace Attorney anime. Like it looks distinct as hell.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably see them slamming the desk and they like make it look like a sprite. They make like the sound effect noise. But they do it in the most uncreative, like laziest way ever with like the CGI jury and all that stuff.
I mean, don't they have the what's it called? The fucking flash effects when they point their finger and it's like and the wind pushes them back or whatever.
Yeah, that's what
they tried.
They tried to do something. But if you read watching anime like Haji, like the thing was that they put like a little Sava stress thing on like the manga strips. And it had basically a distinct art style, and they had like a narration. They actually most times they normally remove narrators.
Oh yeah.
Like in a comic book, you see when someone punches someone, it goes kapow.
Yeah.
Or like you see like when someone's sad, they see dread like above their head. Like, explicitly telling what's the emotion. Yeah. They just like make whispers, and they actually put the text on screen and everything.
I think that's kind of cool.
A distinct visual flair. There's like none of that in Ace Attorney that like distinguished right from the games.
Oh man.
I don't know. I would have liked stuff like that.
Wait, what's it called?
Use the games.
Someone in the someone in the chat is asking, have you read the Ace Attorney manga?
Yes, I have read all of it.
I have read none of them. I've read none of them. I probably should, but it's just like I hear they're fun. Yeah.
That's all I hear about them.
Yeah.
I bought them from like Barnes and Noble. I got all of them. The Ace Attorney Investigation ones were pretty good though.
I heard like there was one with like Edgeworth and Gumshoe. That was really sweet.
Yeah, that was it. There was no K. K wasn't in those manga books.
Oh man, can I ride off like that point and talk a bit about K and why she's a bit I don't know. Like, okay, so K.
I don't like. K does nothing in like Investigations 2.
The problem with K is like, oh man, I'm spoiling like my review of Investigations 2, but I don't care. The problem with K is just like, I don't really know why she's here and what she wants to accomplish. It's like, and okay, ignoring the fact that she kind of gets in the way of the Edgeworth Gumshoe dynamic, it's kind of like, like she's. Should I even play Kay's theme? In fact, no, I'm not bothered. Okay, so the problem with yeah, it's like the problem with Kay is like, so she's always like, oh, I want to be a great faith. I'm gonna be the next Yasugarasu or whatever. He's always yelling this, and I'm like, okay, great. What does that even mean? You know, like I feel like if they gave me like a set goal of hers, like why are you still Edgeworth's assistant? Why are you doing this and that and XYZ? Like at least
yeah, you notice it too?
Yeah, it's like
why work with like you it's like a joke that I see every reviewer talk about.
Yeah, but like it's the joke, it's like they keep making the joke to the point where it's just like, hey, why are you working together? It's like, okay, so Maya works with Phoenix, but like she has a set goal. Like Maya wants to be a spirit medium, the master of the Korean channeling technique, whoever. She has a goal. Trucy right.
Not only that, they're like employees. Like they work together.
Exactly. Yeah, and also she was like the sister of the she was sister of the old boss, and she used to hold evidence for him. But it's like, okay, so you have Trucy, and she's like the next I don't know, the magic.
Trucy,
yeah. Well, like Trucy's like the next magic girl, right? She's like basically she's the one that's gonna inherit the will of all the Gamorrees or whatever. What's it called? Even Athena has the whole, oh, I'm a defense attorney thing. Like, Kay just kind of has nothing. Like, we don't know what Kay wants to accomplish with her life. So when you look at her, she just looks very aimless.
Sounds like she just like Investigation 2, she just shows up. That's
exactly.
Like,
oh, yeah, she just shows up, right? Like, it was just me. That's what made me realize. I was like, why is she here? Like, I don't know. It's like, and you know, it's not like
she was gone for like a year, and she shows up, and she has like nothing to value besides, hey, I want to help Edgeworth again.
Well, she wasn't gone for a year. She was gone for like 2 weeks, but it's still like one of those things where it's like Kay doesn't have purpose. I feel like what you could easily do with Kay's character is you could what you could do was like you could just say, hey, I'm Kay, and I want to be a detective now. Like I feel like that would fix so much. You could even use like Little Thief to her advantage. You could still have the I want to steal the truth gimmick, and it would I feel like it would work, but I don't know,
or
man.
Maybe like the new like rivals of the game were like connected with Kay in some fashion. Like you know,
I just feel like
system is like, I don't know, maybe like make it a arson loop in that stuff that they steal her, like her like she's a thief, and let's say she has like this prize collection, and like they take her prize collection away from her because there was like, I don't know, like the courtrooms, like the law system is like takes away what's rightfully hers, and she gets like what it feels like to be a thief.
Doesn't that happen in like Investigations 2, like Case 4 or whatever? They stole her stuff or something.
Yeah, why couldn't that be like the first thing she did in the game that made her work with Edgeworth again?
I don't know. It's like it's just weird, man.
It's so late.
Oh man, I think someone joined the call. I think that's Ingress or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, what's up? Okay, what's it called? Can you like DM me a picture that you want to use for like the screen or whatever, like, or anything you want to talk about, really? Like, just DM me any picture that you.
I heard I was in the stream. I heard AI.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to join and talk about it.
Oh, okay. No, but I didn't.
Yeah, that's pretty sexy. Not gonna lie.
Oh man, I mean, like, so do you want to like have like a picture on the screen?
Just keep talking, Ty. Don't give him. Just let him join in normally.
Oh, but because I want to like, I want to be like slick.
Sure.
Like, you know, it's up to him if he wants it at the end of the day. Like, it's whatever. It could keep things nice and slick, you know. I don't know. All right, what's it called?
You did it worse, Tully. You should just kept talking and let him let him just join in.
Oh yeah, okay.
Casual. Now he's
Oh.
on a standstill. Like, oh shit, what do I do?
Oh man, it's cool, man. All right, but yeah, Investigations 2. My whole point was I don't really like.
If you have anything to add, just do it. Like, you're not gonna hesitate or anything.
Nice and slick. Call in.
Except Talhima, he's a fucking coward.
Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, this is the plan.
You're so cool with your freaking Spartan icon in this Discord.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm the Greek here.
But you know, the whole thing with Investigations 2 is quite literally just, or even just the Investigation series in general. It's just like Kay has no real purpose or goal. So you just look at her and you just see an aimless girl not really knowing what she wants to do, and she kind of gets in the way of the Gumshoe Edgeworth dynamic. It's a lot, yeah. Like
I think the worst. Oh,
exists. Oh, sorry. Kay is kind of like, she exists to kind of define the AAI series away from the original trilogy, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
They introduced this new assistant character, and they basically have her do like the same role as any assistant would, but she has no motivation for it, and she just feels kind of shallow as a character, other than just being there because she has to be there.
Yeah, you know, I've heard people like compare her to like Athena in that sense, in that like she's just kind of there for the story of the investigation series, but outside that she doesn't really have any real purpose. Like she doesn't have any lasting purpose, if you know what I mean.
Me and Talon said this earlier. Like we were like, I remember I told this like years ago to Talon when I first talked about Ace Attorney Investigations, when he said it was his favorite Ace Attorney game.
Oh man, I remember that. Oh man, I remember. I loved that game. Yeah.
I remember I said the game had like awful pacing. I couldn't stand it, and I just wanted to see Gumshoe and Edgeworth just talk to each other.
I remember that. Yeah.
Happening.
Yeah, because it was
kind of like the most interesting main character, because he's like the character that has like the weirdest friend. Like you can tell Gumshoe and Edgeworth was like written and designed the first game to not talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like interaction is so foreign to these two completely different characters. And his best friend is Larry. You question how that even happened.
I think Edgeworth like provides an interesting perspective in the like I get the appeal of the investigation series in that Edgeworth provides a really interesting perspective. Like I was talking to Volty about this, but
it's funny because it's like everyone's like a moron around him.
Yeah, it's like I was talking to Volty about this, but like Edgeworth's relationship with Larry, to me anyway, is more. It feels more interesting than Phoenix's relationship with Larry. Phoenix's relationship with Larry is kind of like, whatever. They're just kind of, I knew him that one time. Edgeworth and Larry have a more interesting dynamic just because of how Edgeworth's character is and how crazy.
You just want to see them talk to each other.
Exactly. It's interesting. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like Larry in the investigation series is kind of though. I feel like he's just there.
Yeah, he only shows up for the one case, and even his friends, like everyone in the case, like questions Edgeworth's like people he talks to.
Oh man. Oh wait, okay, sorry. Someone in the chat is asking how much is this chat lagging compared to the stream. It's because we're not focusing on the stream too much, and that's my fault. My apology. I can see
you're actually cutting out for me.
Oh, I'm cutting out. Shite.
Like how I used to cut out for you, you're doing like that to me right now.
Oh no. That's a problemo. How do we join the Discord server? It should still be working. Like people wanna join. I will say the chat is read only, and it's just like join in if you want to talk. It's one of those things. It's fun.
It's pretty gay.
Okay, so I'm still getting sent these scenes from the Boondocks, and I feel like I should explain this story on stream because it's just funny to me. It's like, okay, so you know how we're working on this mixtape for the Boondocks? I told JC this before we went on the air. Like we're working on this mixtape for the Boondocks, and
oh my god, you're like lagging bad.
How bad is the lag?
You're dying.
How bad?
Your lag is killing you.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Do you think it's because you have a stream up?
Maybe. I think it's because I have like 4 different tabs up. That might be it.
Earlier.
Oh man,
You were fine earlier. Now it's like you're lagging like a motherfucker.
Jesus Christ. Alright, let's try to get this fixed.
Is this thing on?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, your thing's on.
Hey.
Oh,
we got 4 guests.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey.
This is cool. You have like a open discussion.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole idea. Oh man, it's
well,
like it's.
I gotta tell you,
Charlie doesn't talk to me.
I probably can't. Probably
Yeah.
can't talk for long because.
Hey, Mom, I'm live.
Today,
I'm live on YouTube, Mom.
I got like a virus at like 3 a.m. yesterday.
Oh.
Or today.
Wait, you got a virus?
I've been throwing up all day.
Oh, I
you
thought
know
you meant
what?
like
I
on like
can't
your
pass up this
computer.
opportunity.
Oh
So-
yeah. It's cool. Don't worry.
Whoa, man.
This is really just a
Anyway.
test to just test things.
Anyway, talking about getting viruses, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What's under the Boondocks level of tellies.
Okay, let me tell this story. Okay, because I was telling JC this story before we went on the air. But basically, okay, so we're working on this Boondocks mixtape, and the guy that's doing the animation for like the promo or whatever, I'm talking to him, and all we talk about every single day is how much we hate the creators of the Boondocks. We're just like, oh, I hate Aaron. He did this. He sold out. Blah 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 blah. And then, like 2 seconds later, we'll be like, oh yeah. So about this mixtape. So about this animation. It's just like, so.
Wait, hold. Are you gonna put like our
guy.
names like on the stream or something?
Sorry, what? I didn't.
Are you gonna put like names and like profile pictures on like the stream or something so like people know who's talking?
Oh, that was the idea. That's why I wanted you to DM me like a photo that you wanted to see me see used.
Oh hell yeah! I got the
Hello?
best photo. I got
Yes! Send me the photos! Wait, alright. I'll make this stylish. I'll make it good. Oh man. Oh Jesus, I have
Oh,
no...
we're getting a lot of people in here. I'm
Yeah, we're
waiting
getting
for
a
3K,
decent
you
amount.
know?
Oh yes, Ingress, you've done it.
let me DM you. Hold on, let me DM you. Hold on.
Yeah, just DM me a photo that you want me to use, I'll add it immediately. Cause that's the reason I have Photoshop
I
up
need to
right
get my
now.
computer up for that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Just give me a few moments.
Oh man. So we're talking about like the investigation series, and people were asking, what's even the chat saying? What questions are they asking?
By the way, I'm so sorry for whatever picture I sent. Oh, by the way.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna use it. What's it called?
Oh my god.
Someone said I'd like
Someone
to
wants
hear
to talk about
Ace
the
Attorney.
original.
Yeah. Okay. What are you guys' thoughts on the original Ace Attorney game? Like, you know.
Okay, I think it's inferior to most of the games. I do personally enjoy Dual Destinies a bit more than the original.
Ooh,
But,
I'm not sure about
Dual
that,
Destinies is
but
still,
to
like,
each
low
their
key
own.
trash compared.
Yeah, it's cool. Let me do the profile. Sorry.
The original game is kind of like it's very mixed for me because of course it's the first game I played, so it's gonna have a lot of
Like,
nostalgia
the first
for
time
me.
you play Ace Attorney, it's like great. And you just
Yeah.
love
So-
it. And then you
But it's
replay it, like, wow.
I personally think that like the original game is sort of like low tier compared to most others. Like I do sort of enjoy Dual Destinies just for some of the cases and some of the moments, but I will say that the original is much better than Dual Destinies in most ways,
I would agree.
like story wise.
The
I,
original.
like-
No, you go crazy. My bad. My bad.
I think the original like game is like sort of you can tell where everything's working and where things aren't working, but there's so much passion. Like you see like the characters, there's like so many amazing moments, like Case 3 when you made that fucking kid cry, like that stupid brat.
Why do you love that
Deserved it.
scene so much?
That's-
Okay.
yeah.
I love Case 3. You can fight me if you hate it.
Like it's like
Good
I
fighting
swear.
time. I got an army now.
I swear, I swear, every time this guy brings up Case 3, it's always, I made that kid cry. Like, why?
It was awesome.
Like, why are
Just
you...
literally told
Why are
us
you
the
so
real
happy?
world doesn't work that way. And
Oh,
you
no.
break him.
Okay, I'm adding, like...
Can we bring up
Yeah, keep going, sorry.
When it comes to
Can we bring
the
up how damn underwhelming Spirit of Justice is? It was such an underwhelming game. They revealed so much. They revealed like how you had like the badge thing where like if you got something wrong, it's not the health bar anymore. It's like the badge. And they revealed Maya, but that was so underwhelming in the end because Maya didn't do anything.
Maya didn't... I don't remember Maya doing anything in Spirit of Justice. I think she...
Oh wait, she was posing for a dead man, guys.
Yeah.
That meant so much.
Like, her theme plays, like, twice.
Just all of a sudden, hey guys,
Oh,
this
man.
dead guy, he's actually her.
I don't know,
I
but
think
it's-
instead of I think without Maya in Turnabout Time Traveler, I think things would have gone a lot differently though.
I haven't actually played Turnabout Time Traveler.
Time Traveler was like, I'm sorry
Wait,
that
Telly-
the game we lied.
Telly, I have to tell you, I
Yeah.
would actually go back for it. It's kind of crazy, but it's funny we were just talking about PW. I can't think of a more perfect time to talk about Turnabout Time Traveler because it's literally a PW case. But they actually, the writing shows some respect to the fact that this is in a post-Dual Destinies world, where, you know, obviously things are very different from when they were in PW. Like, Phoenix got his badge back, you know,
Yeah.
you know, all of these things going on. Edgeworth is now chief prosecutor. Actually pays respect to some of that rather than what I thought happened in Dual Destinies a lot, where it's like the characters are like, Edgeworth in case 5. It's like, here he is, Turnabout Sisters, me and Edgeworth all over again. You know,
something I always imagined was like. In fact, carry on, sir. I don't want to interrupt.
It was okay. I was just gonna say the way I would sum up Turnabout Time Traveler in general is because I think you would agree, Telly, that with Dual Destinies Spirit of Justice, while some things do work, the scope is so grand and the stakes are so high. It's kind of irritating. Like, we need something simpler, and that's what Turnabout Time Traveler was for me. It was like a PW case in terms of length and complexity, and it showed at least some respect for where some of the characters should be, and ultimately I loved it.
I haven't. Maybe I'll play it. Who knows?
I thought it was an okay case.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as the DLC case for Dual Destinies, which is weirdly like the best case.
I love that case. I love that case. And you have to buy it as DLC. It's like, Jesus.
Everyone, like, that's the one thing everyone agrees with Dual Destinies. The DLC case was great.
So some people on Reddit that hate it, to be fair.
I got a question. Can you guys like rank like each of the final cases in each game? Like you can include like Rise from the Ashes if you want, but like you guys like.
Man, you're gonna get this tough on me. Believe it or not, I'm not a big fan of Justice for All's final case. I'm like.
Yeah, I know you really hate that case.
What? It's so weird because I used to rate it so highly because it was like so twist based.
Yeah.
But I replayed it recently.
Fuck Agent Andrews. Fuck that.
You don't like Agent Andrews?
The case, just like without until the twist and like without the like the notion that the twist exists, the case itself is like it's not.
Yeah, you get me, because I always tell people this, and they always don't get what I'm saying. Like the twist in the concept is awesome, but like the actual case itself, if you break it down, is like really flawed. Like, why did there have to be like a suicide plot line in the side? Why did there have to be like the best part in the whole case, and everyone can agree on with me here, is when you cross-examine Will Powers. Like when you fucking tell him, yo, like, stitches, baseballs have stitches. Are you?
Oh wait, I remember that. Yeah, that sticks out. I don't think I've replayed that final case. I've replayed so many Ace Attorney cases, but out of all the Ace Attorney cases I've played, I haven't replayed the final case of Justice for All like at all. I want to say.
How would I rank them? I'm like trying to think here. So I know the worst final case is easily Dual Destinies. I can't even like think of a better one than the worst one. But,
yeah,
like,
I'd agree with that.
Like, other than that, the best one is Trials and Tribulations. Nothing's topping that one for me.
Really? Wow.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
It's so perfect to me.
The last case of Spirit of Justice is. Oh yeah, I'll listen to you. Sorry.
Well, yeah. I don't want to be the contrarian and diss on Bridget Turner because I really like it, but I think it is quite flawed.
I think one of the best things about here's the thing not many people notice. So you know case 3 of Trials and Tribulations when Ghost was doing that case. Which is one of my favorite cases because everyone kind of knew who the murderer was, but he was actually the one who almost got away with it at the end. The thing was, Goda didn't show up to his trial when he was being defense, and it was Payne who did it. And he showed up for Phoenix, and like right at the end of the case, Phoenix connects the dots. Like Godo literally always knew who the murderer was, and he just did this case so he could lose. And so they kind of established he will only show up to a case if Phoenix is doing the case. The reason why he didn't show up to the last case was because he knew it wasn't Phoenix. So by case 5, when he's not the prosecutor, you wouldn't like think it's suspicious or anything because he didn't show up in case 3 when.
Oh, that's a great point. Wow.
And then all of a sudden, like you never connected to, like even Edgeworth kind of preludes, like how can you just disappear like that? And you're just like, well, he did it before. And you just never connect to the dots. because of that, because of what happened earlier. He directly said he would not show up if he didn't show up in the case.
Are you talking
So
about
in
the
case-
Godot
when they
thing?
do happen, you're not suspicious as prosecutor anymore.
Wait, is this the Godot thing in like
Tully's
case 3?
gonna-
Sorry, I'm just asking.
You guys better be watching the YouTube stream because Tully's gonna add my photo.
Oh my god.
Jesus
My
Christ.
photo.
I just,
My photo is so retarded.
I don't even know.
I'm scared.
For Godot, I'm calling your profile Godot because I don't know. We're talking about Godot. This guy's laughing. This guy is having the time of his life, man. All right.
This is the life, baby.
Yeah, this is it.
The fact that my retarded ass photo is being on a stream right now, that's all I want. That's all I want.
It's all a part of the plan.
So,
Hooray! It's
Yeah,
there.
really. Hold
Let's make
Hello,
it nice
I'm
and
here.
big. Oh man.
hello there, little junior.
There's so many people. Okay, sorry. I wasn't expecting. Okay.
It's gonna be hard. You might have to put a limit on the.
No, as it is hard to get
No
like
limit.
so many.
No limit.
This
We will have 1,000 people in this Discord call.
Oh man, this is clearly an idea I should have thought through a bit more.
Look at the YouTube stream. Look at the YouTube stream. Look at the photo now.
This is the life, baby.
Oh man, all right. Okay, originally, what we were supposed to do 30 minutes in was transition into a fan case, but like we can keep all the callers if we want. It's like, so since we're 41 minutes in right now, I'll say at 50 minutes, so in 9 minutes, we'll transition into playing like 20 minutes of a case, and then we'll end the stream. So is there anything else anyone wants to talk about? It could be anything. I'm gonna change the
I
track.
want to talk about your love life.
Oh man.
Oh,
Oh man.
And what did someone else say? I'm just joking.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Wait, no, forget. Sorry, carry on. Yeah, sorry, go.
Kelly, shut up.
I was just gonna say, I did a lot of thinking about Turnabout Succession today.
Oh yeah.
Did you want to talk about that, or I don't know?
Okay, sure. Let's talk
why
about
not?
Turnabout
That
Succession.
sounds attractive.
Yeah.
I've actually never played a fan case before, so this will be my first ever experience going on with a fan case.
Oh, it's
baby.
great. Trust me.
Ooh,
You're into
baby.
something different each time.
Which one was
fun.
Turnabout Succession? Was that the Apollo Justice one?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's like the fourth
it's
case.
the final AJ case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Oh yeah, JC don't like
I mean,
it.
I would like to start.
He's a hater.
sharing.
I'm joking.
You know what's funny? Kelly, Vaulty made an animation for that opening, for that trailer, and he never actually played the case.
Oh,
And he
wow.
thought it was a bad idea.
What?
He actually just heard what happened, and he didn't like it.
Oh, you're talking about Turnabout Substitution. That.
Oh, the fifth fan case, the unofficial. AJ
Yeah, he made an animation for it. He thought it was all cool, and then he heard what happens at the end, and he thought it was really dumb. He never actually played it.
so bad.
I remember like I remember something about like
I
Apollo's
love
girlfriend
it so
killing
much.
him.
Fan case?
Or something.
There's only one fan case I've tried before, and it's a troll one. Can I say it in like the Discord chat, or should I say it in the YouTube chat?
Say it in the YouTube chat because you can't even speak in the Discord chat.
Yeah, it's read only.
It's
Alright,
read only, baby. Alright.
Oh, God.
Okay. It
So-
sounds like you know how like the limit is 200 words character. The link is only like is 209 words, so I can't do anything about that.
Oh Jesus, I
Rest in peace.
have no idea.
Whatever.
I'll just
When it comes to Turnabout Succession, I think the case really embodied a lot of what I liked about the overarching plot of Apologists Returning, because recently I've been getting into the Metal Gear Solid series,
Oh,
or just
yeah.
the Metal Gear series in general.
Metal Gear.
And what's
Carry on.
and what's interesting about Metal Gear is, Kojima after Metal Gear Solid 3 didn't feel the need to make any new games. Like, tell me if any of this sounds familiar.
Oh yeah, I remember
and then
this.
He didn't want to make a game, every Metal Gear Solid game.
Someone
And he
wait, sorry. Carry on. Sorry.
True. Well, basically, he was told, like, well, you gotta have another story for Solid Snake. Just like Takumi was told, well, if you want to start a new Ace Attorney game with, all this change, a new protagonist, you still gotta have Phoenix Wright in there. And what both Kojima and Takumi did, or not so much Takumi, but what both games did that I really liked was, okay, fine. If people are only going to play it because they want their beloved main character, well, guess what? In Metal Gear Solid 4, look at what happened to Snake. He's dying, you know?
Yeah,
and
it's
then
a similar thing.
Phoenix.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
I love that because it's like, it's so gut punching, and I think about like
you wanted this character back, so here he is, all old and beaten in the
I mean, I don't want to turn this into a Dual Destinies rant, but it makes the fact that Edgeworth just lets him come back, it just makes it even worse, because think of all the things that happened to Phoenix. He got hit by a car.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess we should start with what happens, you know, technically before Case 1, but, you know, he pretty much has no money, he's no job, he has to take care of this little girl, Trucy. All of this happens to him. He basically lost everything he had. And what I also like about Apollo Justice Ace Attorney is there really is no happy ending for Phoenix in that game. He jokes like, I might take the bar exam again, and that's all there is.
I really like that joke,
I mean,
but
sure,
I don't like it in
first off-
retrospect.
Well,
yeah.
in my opinion, I think that was a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke, 100%.
Yeah,
but like, it's just...
you know, he's doing the laughing sprite, and
yeah,
but it's just like, you know, with what happened to Phoenix Wright, you know, it's so emotional because we've had 3 games where we enjoyed, you know, being him, helping him, seeing the good qualities that he has, and you know, the only positive thing that happens to Phoenix Wright in Apollo Justice is that, one, he sets up Apollo to, you know, success Phoenix, but you know, also, you know, Christoph Gavin is assumedly got the death penalty.
Yeah.
So, yay! But you know,
and he
everything
quote unquote created a jury system that never happened.
So
It's
like,
still in works today. Wait,
Yeah.
who wants me to play the Ace Attorney trilogy right now? I have it open on my 3DS right now.
Go wild, man.
Go ahead, I don't really care.
Exactly.
I had like a there was a rumor that was going around that was kind of confirmed true to me, that so about a few years ago I heard this rumor about there was going to be a sequel to Apollo Justice after the success. It actually was being written.
Oh yeah. This is true. This is true. I know what
he
you're
was
gonna say.
writing it. I don't know how true it is, but I started to believe it was true after something happened. And you're gonna get why I started to think. So it's basically they was gonna refine the court system. There wasn't really much known about it, really. It was only all that I knew from this rumor was that Trucy was going to be defense attorney for the first case, and it was basically I think it was going to be a case involving a train. That's like all I knew about it.
I'm not sure about like the Trucy Wright train stuff, but I know about the story of I know about the story of like Apollo Justice 2 being a thing and it was being worked on, and then they scrapped it and said, never mind, let's do investigations.
I think they started working on Ace Attorney Investigations to try out, like, they get the old fans in, and then Shutakumi, just after Apollo Justice, apparently quitted writing the game. That's the rumor goes. Shutakumi willingly just quit making the game.
Yeah, I remember he put out a statement. It was just like, I'm done with Ace Attorney, and it's just like, wow. It's like,
which is funny because Yamazaki said the same thing twice, so it's like these writers don't like doing this.
Exactly. That's why we need new blood. I don't. Oh man, I said this in like the Prelude stream.
It's hard because like they're stuck in this limbo that they have to work with these characters again.
Yeah, but
and think about, like, as much as I really don't like Dual Destinies, I totally see how much work Yamazaki put in, because he was in charge of the graphics too. And they had no PL versus AA assets, so they couldn't be like, oh yeah, we'll just take Phoenix from that. It's like,
I don't know how I'm gonna fit
that's level 5's property.
Capcom
was in charge of the graphics. It wasn't Yamazaki. It was Takuro who did it. Yeah.
Well, I remember in an interview he said that he was in charge of more than just the writing, though. And
no, it's more that
he's more like he was directing, I believe.
In charge of trying to get the look down in 3D. Fuse, but Fuse Takuro is the one who actually made the assets and stuff.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I just feel bad, but then his boss is like, look at all these Ace Attorney fans.
Yeah.
You know, come on, you
I
gotta
think
make a sequel.
you brought this up in your podcast, I believe.
Dual
Like, Gavin.
Destinies.
Oh, you saw that? The
Yeah, I
Spirit
did.
Justice
I was
movie?
listening to it.
Yay! I'm
Yeah.
so happy you saw it. Or listened to it, yeah.
Yeah, it was like you were talking about how like and it's a true story. Like Yamazaki, I think he was in the U.S. or something. It was in the West, and he went to a Comic-Con convention and he saw all these 80/20 fans, and it was like, you see all of this? Now make the next game. And it's like, okay, and that's pretty much what happened.
It's funny, but it's kind of sad too.
Yeah, it's like
I think there's a rumor that he was told the goal was to outsell PL versus AA, make the
Jesus.
game bigger than PLA's AA, because Level 5 was the one who made that game, not Capcom. They only had 4 employees from Capcom making that game.
One of them was Takumi, I think, as well.
Yeah,
right?
Takumi was
Yeah.
Takumi was the main writer for the
yeah.
majority of the game.
I thought, yeah.
Takumi was character
You
writer
can tell,
for
you can
Right and
100% tell it's Takumi.
I
The
think
artist-
you can tell. I think the subtlety
The
is back. Yeah.
artist was a brand new fresh blood to the Ace Attorney series, and the composer was actually a guy from Monster Hunter. He made the monster, and it felt like Professor Layton vs. Ace Attorney was the big beta
for
for
DGS.
Daigaku and
Yeah,
Saturn.
yeah, okay, yeah, I know what you're
They
gonna
had
say.
the same team. I think that's where all the blood and passion started to come back
yeah.
when they made that game.
It's
And, we gotta
it's
do
a lot
this.
like you can see the parallels between the Professor Layton crossover and Gakuten Saiban.
Listen,
The
the
music is
best
the
idea
same
ever was
composer.
Voltage Crossing Witnesses. That was the fucking raddest thing ever.
Wait,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Even I swear, some of the instrument samples are the same.
It is the same composer, so yeah.
Yeah.
It is the same composer. He is so good. I remember when Professor Layton vs. Ace Attorney came out, I thought it was my favorite soundtrack, and it was. And then DGS topped it.
Oh yeah.
Bad man.
DGS's soundtrack is really good. I haven't listened to it in a while, but it's really strong. I remember liking it.
I was so disappointed that the sequel didn't get a full soundtrack. I was hoping to get one, but
It was done so cheaply. It was made under a year, and they had to work with the same assets. And Capcom barely had any money. The only reason DGS2 exists so they could answer the questions left off in DGS1.
Yeah.
So people wouldn't complain to Capcom.
DGS is.
yeah, the second case was essentially almost like a repeat of Case 4 from the first game. It's like
We can't. I will say this. I don't want to spoil
was
DGS
supposed
for
to be a
anyone.
trilogy.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything
If
about
it's
that.
okay, can we not talk about DGS?
Yeah, I was about to say, no DGS spoilers, please. I mean, you can vaguely talk about it,
I'll
but
say
like
this
not.
loosely.
Yeah.
DGS was supposed to be a trilogy, and you could see Shutakumi tweeting and super excited about working on this game. He really wanted to work on this game. And apparently, based off a rumor I heard from somewhere in Capcom, that the
My
third
dad
game
works
was
in
basically
Capcom.
canceled, and he was supposed to fuse both of those games into one game in under a year with a low budget, and it was almost like a passionless project.
Oh,
And the
God.
Madman did it. I'm so tired of how Ace Attorney games keep getting
I want
screwed
him
over.
to quit Capcom. I want Takumi to work at Platinum Studios at this
Well,
point.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like you can't Capcom at this point is a failing company.
No, it's not.
really.
Oh my God,
Jesus.
no, it is
No,
not.
it ain't.
They got 10 million units for Monster Hunter. They
They're
have
losing a
so
lot of
much
money.
money again.
Other than Monster Hunter, they're losing a lot of
The
money.
problem,
Resident Evil.
Wait, guys,
Mega
like-
Man is
Now
coming back.
Devil May Cry. They've been coming back actually.
The Mega
The
Man
only thing that was
collection
coming-
sold well.
Money
yeah.
was coming from Monster Hunter, and that's
Yeah,
they
and now
only
they
had
have
a
the money
recent
to do big
influx
things
of
again.
money from Monster Hunter. Before that, they weren't making any
Oh
money.
yeah, before that they were a failing company. I'm not gonna do.
And
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm
they
saying.
were up for sale, literally.
Who wants to talk
that's
about
what I'm saying.
MatPat's failing Ace
You're
Attorney
telling me I
case?
could have bought Ace Attorney?
What?
Nah, I'd rather not talk about that.
I'd rather not talk about
Yes, hello,
MatPat
sir.
in
I'd
general.
like to buy Ace Attorney for $5.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk about MatPat's failing Ace Attorney theory?
No.
No.
No, please.
That's
No.
old. No.
Everyone's
Don't
done
talk
it.
about Never talk
Everyone
about
has broken down why it
I think
doesn't
we're all
work.
gonna be so mad if we talk about it.
I love how everyone just
If I-
collectively
if I
said
could
no.
go back- if I could go back to a previous topic, like to me, the first game, right? I think it honestly, even though a lot of people kind of put it at the bottom of the totem pole, I think it still holds up because it does what it wants to do fine. And I know Storyteller doesn't really agree with me, but I think Rise from the Ashes is what really put it on the map for me because it felt like as if a linear. It's a bit like Zelda Breath of the Wild. It felt like a linear game suddenly became so much bigger, like an open world game kind of thing. And it was so weird because at that time I didn't know when it was made officially, so it was so weird to go from that style and then you start JFA and it goes back to the kind of the old style of things. And I don't know, I just think Rise from the Ashes deserves more praise than it gets. Like, it gets a lot of hate, I know that.
I think the reception is pretty mixed in general. Like,
Yeah.
people, it depends on how you look at Rise of the Ashes.
I'm kind of mixed on Rise to the Ashes. On one hand, it introduced Emma and the villain's good, but on the other hand, it kind of ruins Edgeworth's arc for me, and it's really long.
I was actually talking to JC about this.
Remember, Rise in the Ashes is canon because they do know Emma eventually. So
yeah, but it's like it's retroactively canon, if you know what I mean.
I actually think the what was it, like the actual Rise from the Ashes made Edgeworth's characters better.
Yeah, I was actually talking to JC about this recently. Yeah,
Edgeworth just felt so flimsy in Justice for All if you didn't have Case 5, because he just decided to go out and hide because he was defended in this one case with his boss. Compared to him, some guy like Gant telling him you're gonna be just like me, and you start to see where all the nuggets were putting, and you see where Edgeworth, like in Trials and Tribulations, it was implied that he used to fraud evidence, but that went against what he said in Justice for All, so that was a flaw in itself. So in Rise from the Ashes, they explain how that works because they showed like Lana and Gant was the one who implied like fraudulent evidence without him even knowing.
So basically, what happens? It's hard because of when Rise from the Ashes was developed. So I understand it's hard for some people to put this together, but I'm pretty sure, from my memory, I haven't played PW since 2016. But I'm pretty sure how this goes is Edgeworth, he did do crime, like he did falsify evidence that's heavily implied within the first couple cases of PW, that he's like the villain. Like remember, this isn't AAI Edgeworth, but he's like bad, like he's supposed to be bad in a sense. But then in Justice for All, he grows. Things are a little bit different, and then yes, Rise from the Ashes then shows like, okay, so Edgeworth did some bad things, but not always the case. Sometimes he didn't know. So I think it's kind of like a little both. It's like it's Edgeworth's fault sometimes. It's not his fault.
I would agree with Gavin on that actually.
In Case 3, instantly he helps you out to the being the defense bush because like the villain is so obvious and she's so dubious that Edgeworth actually supports Phoenix.
Well, yeah, but I think the only reason that happens in PW.
Edgeworth was ever a bad dude. Like he was supposed to be respected as a bad dude, and he needs to be reformed. It was just he was not fully aware of what was going on around him. Like
I totally see that, but I just feel like let's take the updated autopsy report for example. It was never, like my friend Jay's reviews always said it best. It was never meant to be some kind of meme, right? What it was actually meant to show is like that was false evidence. That's what they were implying there. We have a new autopsy report. You can't do that.
Did no one give it to you?
Yeah, it's like I actually agree. I agree with Gavin there. I think it's a mix of both.
Edgeworth made bad
it's withholding evidence as well.
Oh yeah, he was
taught
a
by
smug
Manfred.
piece of shit.
I mean, what is Manfred von Karma known for doing?
Forging evidence.
Edgeworth did early on.
He's known for
He's a bastard.
Since we're on the topic of Manfred, I wanted to talk about like forging evidence in the Ace Attorney series.
Oh
how
boy.
It has, like, different consequences each time it's done.
I know what you're getting at.
Like Phoenix, right? Forging evidence 7 years ago that he didn't even know about. that kind of thing.
Bringing up the argument from yesterday and Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
bringing
pretty
that
much
up
it.
right
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
yes.
I feel like that.
because I'm
plot point
interested
was a bit
in
forced.
more opinions on it because like Phoenix gets like a flimsy forgery case against him and he gets disbarred, but like Manfred just gets a penalty.
Yeah.
It
Like,
is
he
a bit of a
basically
Japanese thing though.
got called out in court.
yeah.
Very valid point. I
feel like
I think I
feel
would
like Manfred had more power than he had any right to have. I think that was a thing with Manfred. He was
but
a guy who was
the
been
whole
working
point,
for 40 years.
the whole point of the whole AA court system thing was for Shu Takumi to point out like how the Japanese court system is like in Japan, and to be fair, they always have a prosecutor bias, and they kind of don't care what the prosecutors do, but they focus so much on the defense attorneys. And maybe now that I think about it, like Kurain is an extremized version of that. Maybe that's what Yamazaki was focusing on, what Takumi did as well. I don't know, but it's just that whatever the prosecutors do, nobody.
Every Ace
gives a-
Attorney game is the law is corrupt. Like Trials and Tribulations is so good because every case of Trials and Tribulation, somebody abuses the law system for their own gain. Like case one, like literally, like the person killed someone else, like saying that they did the crime even though they didn't. Case two, we got somebody. What happened in case two? We got someone trying to accuse themselves as a thief instead of being a murderer.
Yeah.
Case
Don't forget.
three, we got somebody who literally made a cardboard badge and by the way, real Yakuza men did this before. I did research. People have done this before to pretend you're a defense attorney.
To be honest, I'm not surprised.
You make a pretty good point. Guys, I need some help.
In case four, the case ended because the defendant killed himself, and they just ended the case there.
Well, can you calm down and stop yelling in my ears, please?
Well, if you're gonna use case, if you're gonna use case 4 as an example, I would not use what happened to Terry Falls. I would instead use Melissa Foster. See, that's manipulation of the court system, right? But here's the thing with. The reason that I think, so not only do I believe what has been said about the Japanese legal system and how Manfred can get away with that, but I think also what helps Phoenix get completely destroyed and disbarred was, and this is more of a subtle thing, something you wouldn't find in Dual Destinies. Oh, no, but this is more of a subtle thing, but if you go back and you watch what Clavier Gavin says, as soon as Phoenix Wright presents the false evidence, I mean, Clavier Gavin he truly rubs it into Phoenix Wright, and I think with the judge, it was partly an emotional decision as to what happened, because Phoenix asked, he remains calm. He says, if I had an explanation, he remains calm, and basically. It's like Phoenix even says, if I had an explanation, would the court like to hear it? And the judge says, probably not.
I remember that.
It was an emotional decision partly, and I think Clavier Gavin helped,
accelerate it.
Can I get some help from the boys? Can I get some help from the boys?
Hasn't it been 9 minutes?
Oh yeah, it has been over 9 minutes. We're supposed to be playing a fan case by now. I just kind of wanted to make one more point, riding off the legal system point. I almost want to play devil's advocate and say, and this is genuinely how I feel sometimes. It's like, yeah, Ace Attorney is about the legal system, but the creative have made it clear that they don't really care about the specifics of what goes on in the legal system. Like, I feel strongly about this because I believe it was in like the Gyuken Saiban blogspot reports by Ash, but Shutakumi directly says, yeah, Ace Attorney is based off the Japanese legal system, but I don't care about the Japanese legal system. Like the legal system isn't designed to be completely accurate to what the Japanese legal system is. Like, yes, it's satire to an extent, but Shutakumi isn't looking at the legal system and studying it and going, yeah, and then I'm gonna add this, and then I'm gonna do that. I feel like it's his own world and he's doing his own thing. So while I agree in that, yeah, it's satire on the state of the legal system, we also have to look at it in terms of the fact that this is a game. And you know, another thing in terms of the legal system is just plain, you know, how far is too far in how we like do the whole corruption thing. So say case 3 of Apollo Justice, that case has gotten so much flack, and to an extent you could even argue it's for good reason. Like, some people just genuinely didn't like how far they went to go push that whole legal system narrative. Like, how far you know, it's just, you know,
Apollo Justice was 100% about like going after Japanese legal system. Like, the jury system literally just became a thing in Japan when that game was being made. So they really actually pushed those agendas.
But it's just
really
like, you know,
I mean, in
I
the
think
third case,
I think Telly, to kind of add on to what you were saying, it's like, yeah, I definitely, I mean, obviously it's proven because Takumi said it himself, but I do think, I would at least argue, I wonder if you would agree that Yamazaki does care about being
I don't think he cares either. No, I don't know. I don't want to believe in that. Like, after like Dual Destinies.
A dragon never yields.
I don't think you know what I'm really saying.
Yeah, let
what I'm actually saying is that Yamazaki cares a lot more about portraying the legal system as flawed. I'm not saying he does it particularly accurately, but that's what he's trying to do.
I would agree with that.
If you look at Apollo Justice, Investigations 1, Investigations 2, Dual Destinies, and Spirit of Justice all have
but I feel like that's also an extension of him loving to raise the stakes. So it's like, this one game is about the legal system here. Okay, now this one's about killing lawyers, and I know it didn't jump to that, of course, but it's like he got bigger and bigger.
Is that the problem with that is that he doesn't know how to do the show don't tell kind of thing. He tells you a lot.
I didn't say he does. No, I'm just saying. I don't think he
does care. I agree that he does care a bit, but it's just that he tells you about the
think
problems.
about how many times think about how many times the phrase "the dark age of the law" is spoken in Dual Destinies. You know, like that shows.
Yeah, I'm trying to say the whole point of this.
Yamazaki cares about making a corrupt legal system, but he's not able to do it in a way where it actually matters.
Yeah.
In a way that's
it's actually shown.
Well done.
You feel it.
I think like the Dark Age of the Law is insulting because wasn't the that's why I brought up why like the law was corrupt, and that's why Telly brought that up. But I was trying to say more of the lines of the law was always corrupt.
It's always corrupt, but it's like
the Dark Age of the Law was
since day one in the Ace Attorney, the law was fucked.
Yeah,
but it's like. It's insulting because the Dark Age of the Law is broken down the Phoenix getting disbarred and like Blackwell getting arrested. And like, that's not what it is.
Literally, the Dark Age
Let's
of the Law
do it! Sorry.
Plot point.
And it's like Phoenix is a defense attorney and Blackwell got acquitted. There we go, boom, boom, done. Edgeworth could have, just fired Gaspin before, but no. Now we fixed the law.
Some random dude.
I could see what he was trying to do with it. It's just it feels so forced that it doesn't really feel proper.
I think what happened is that like
Yamazaki
Dual Destinies, right? He tried to make a Dark Age of the Law thing, and then he kind of realized that I guess it's not so dark because just two things happened. So he tried to bring that to its maximum extent with Spirit of Justice having an actual dark kingdom of the law, and to make it more reasonable to believe that, right? Because Dual Destiny looks so weak in comparison of Dark Age of the Law when you compare it to Spirit of Justice.
Oh yeah, I agree with
more
that.
like a Dark Age of the Law.
I think Dual Destinies is the weakest in terms of the Dark Age of the Law, like in a general sense, though. It's just doesn't.
Isn't that funny? The one that says the most is like the weakest.
That is really funny. Actually.
It's like because the game constructs this narrative that like, the reason the Dark Age of the Law is a thing is because Phoenix lost his badge, and the Phantom was a thing. And it's just like. That's what the game says. And we were having this conversation the other day, but it's like, the reason Spirit of Justice gives for the Dark Age of the Law ending is that Edgeworth steps up and fires some prosecutors. So essentially, the entirety of Dual
lazy
exactly
for
he was just
7 years.
lazy. So it's like the entirety of Dual Destinies doesn't mean anything because all Edgeworth had to do was get up and say, "Hey, maybe I should just do my job or something." It's just like
so mad.
that's
Not to mention,
it's crazy,
It tries
man.
to hype up a plot point,
that.
a supposedly important plot point that really isn't actually important at all. Like, if you actually take 2 seconds to think about it, the Dark Age of the Law, like,
I'm
barely
Steven.
exists.
Wait, sorry, Karen. No, keep going. Sorry, Doe messaged me. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm Steven.
Edwards was so lazy that he only fired Gaspon Payne after Dual Destinies. Like, think about that. Like, he kept him for 7 years.
This is the man.
No, sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at Doe.
Oh, that
The man
bastard.
who did so much for the world in Investigations 1 and 2, and so much for California, and then he becomes chief prosecutor, and he literally does nothing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I keep laughing. Doe is making me laugh with this Stephen A. Smith thing. Alright, let me do
Honestly, like, Edgeworth just, I don't know, I feel like Edgeworth at the end of Dual Destinies just felt extremely forced. They're just like, oh hey guys, here's this unimportant plot point that basically didn't matter, and here's our fix to it. Character comes back.
Hey, you gotta have the nostalgia, gotta bring back Edgeworth.
Oh man.
I know.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
know what that is.
it's just
It
like,
it feels
one of the
so
things that really, like, there's a lot of things I do like about Spirit of Justice, but the fact that Dual Destinies just can't be erased just will further taint any Ace Attorney game that comes after it, because you still have a lot of issues remaining. And one of the things that really bothers me now, especially because we're a game past Dual Destinies now, is like, I just don't understand how Phoenix Wright losing his badge, Simon Blackwell getting arrested, and the Phantom doing crap.
Oh god.
Basically ruined the law. First of all, as we've all established, the law has been corrupt since day one, but even still, if they wanted to make the argument that it's gone further, which I thought they were going to do well when I saw that the courtroom blew up, but then that never went anywhere. But here's the thing, it's like...
God, M rating.
It's just like, I understand Phoenix Wright was well known, right? He you know, especially like by Trials and Tribulations time, he went on the Legal League of Attorneys and PL Versailles. He's well known, right? He was invited to go to England, for goodness sake. It's
Yeah,
just...
they made a big statue of him in Case 3.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, it's just like, I understand Phoenix Wright is well known. I understand that the Phantom has been in the eyes of the government and the police for a long time. I understand these things are true, but I just don't... They couldn't convince me that 2 men or 3 men ruined the whole legal system. They're just 3 people.
Yeah.
What did they
No,
like?
especially they've had worse people before in the legal system. Case in point, Manfred von Karma. He didn't destroy the legal system, like.
But some
Well, he just made a shitty.
But it's like, okay, Blackwell arrested. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
Not only that, but think about the fact that they never explain why the jury system doesn't come back in Dual Destinies.
Yeah, and the thing is, I want to say Dual Destinies. I want to say it was an okay game because I like the cases individually. To be honest, I might get some flack for saying that, but I like the individual cases. But
That's
as
totally
an overall
fine.
story,
It's your opinion. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as a full story and as a part of the series, it's just it just doesn't connect well, and it leaves a lot of things
Honestly,
behind that.
I think they should have just removed the Dark Age of the Law line from the game, and I think it would have been alright, honestly. But
Yeah.
I think that
I
like
don't know.
Spirit of Justice
I
is
don't
a
know.
remake of Dual
too.
Destinies in the sense that like it in another way that, you know, Case 3 in Dual Destinies was to show the world of the Dark Age of the Law, which I don't know, it doesn't really work, I guess. But in Case 3 of Spirit of Justice, it is the same thing again, because it's to show how twisted the Defense Culpability Act is. And it's like he's trying to hit the same points again in a better way. And I don't
why
know.
I-
I feel
that's
I
why
feel like you should explore more new things than retread
Yeah,
things.
that's why I always say that Spirit of Justice, while it's by no means perfect, a lot of the things feel like an apology for Dual Destinies. Like you got time travel, it's like, okay, let's take it back to basics in that case.
Oh, can I mention like the flaws in Case 3
There
Spirit of
couldn't
Justice?
be a Spirit of Justice without Dual Destinies. Am I right, Tilly?
See, I feel that Spirit of Justice was Dual Destinies, but actually good because they managed to make, they managed to take the three characters and they managed to take the three characters and the whole, I guess, they managed to connect them like relatively well, and they managed to make a good overall story, which is what Dual Destinies didn't do.
I would like to mention like this like stupid ass like thing in like Case 3 of Spirit of Justice. Like you know how like the victim, right? He killed himself onto like the horn thing so he can hide the blood of the other guy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Like he could have just said, oh shit, I bumped into the thing and cut myself a bit. Oh shit, I'm a stupid idiot. Why did he need to kill himself? Just say, oh shit, I cut myself or something like that.
But then I pushed myself using the force while I was dead.
I managed to fall down.
That definitely stretches it quite a bit. Yeah. No, I
don't know.
definitely think there's reason
Plus it.
Yeah.
Case 2 to me, I don't know if you'll agree, but Case 2 to me is something they could have done in a proper Apollo Justice 2. That is the only case in the Yamazaki games that I could see happening in Apollo Justice 2. All the other cases kind of don't line up or wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. But just something I want to quickly mention about Dual Destinies. It's like when I first played it years ago, and I was not analyzing the games. I was literally just there for the fun, and that's why I was oblivious to a lot of stuff. But I remember staying up until like 3 a.m. to finish Turnabout for tomorrow. I didn't play the DLC case yet. I did shortly after, but it kind of felt like I beat the game, And I remember saying out loud to myself when I finished it, I said, I think that's my second favorite Ace Attorney game. I loved Dual Destinies the first time I played it, but
I can relate to that, actually.
I'll always have a soft spot for a lot of the things in it. I just can't erase that, but at the same time, it's just like, no, like
even when I first played it, I thought the Phantom sucked. Like, yeah. I agree. I have a soft spot for Dual Destinies, though I can admit there's like tons of flaws with it.
Yeah, it's just like it has the heart of a good Ace Attorney game. Like I think the intention is there, but the execution was just horrible.
Yeah.
What?
Ow!
Sure.
Damn, you're gonna shame the people who created the game. Damn, I'm on board on this one, baby. I'm being real too. You're 100% right on this one.
No, it's your
so
opinion.
like the cases are like stupid. All right, I think that's the big thing. Listen, I don't give a shit about the deeper integrities of these characters and the long dance scheme of things. If those cases are garbage, I will hate the game. I played Dual Destinies, and I was the only person online who disliked the game when it came out. I found Volty, who was like the only guy on YouTube that I knew who hated the game, and that's how I became friends with him, and that's how I became friends with Telly, because we both disliked the game. We were the three amigos who hated Dual Destiny.
What do we think about the DLC case of Dual Destiny?
It's good.
Like we all said earlier, we all like it. It's like the only good case in the game.
No, I love the DLC case.
Case 2 is somewhat decent because it's somewhat formally structured, but it's so bland.
There's somebody that I've talked to on some Ace Attorney servers, and he came up with something I thought was so genius. I wrote it down. But
yeah, I'm gonna get it going.
Oh, okay. Have a good one.
Yeah.
It's just like he basically said that there are things like DD-isms, things that Dual Destinies do that plague the series that aren't gone in Spirit of Justice. I won't go into the whole story, but I call them destinisms. And I feel like it's like, yes, does Turnabout Reclaim still have the destinisms? Yes. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Something I will admit.
I loved your Marlon Rhymes character appreciation video too. I thought that really highlighted something that I had a personal connection to in the case.
Yeah, I feel like in a sense, is it Turnabout Reclaim? I don't remember the name, but yeah,
yes.
The DLC case is a better, improved version. I know it's a bit blasphemous for some people, but it's an improved version of Turnabout Big Top to me. In a sense that the motive is similar, the setting is kind of similar, in a sense that it's a kind of entertainment kind of area with a show and a thing, and there's no flying top hats and things like that. It's not completely grounded in reality, but it is a lot better for me than what Big Top was. But
yeah, I feel like what it does better than Big Top is the fact that it actually takes time to characterize the people in the chapter. Well, Big Top's just a bunch of shtick, and then you get the final motive at the end, which sucks, and it's overall just boring. It drags on way too long.
Yeah, I really like Turnabout Big Top. Well, I will answer that, but first I want to say that aside from the animals and aquarium to circus kind of parallel, I actually don't think they're really all that similar. But I guess with Big Top, aside from some slow pacing that I criticize, I thought that case tried something that no case did before, and that was to be more of a world building kind of case where, okay, there's a circus around where Mr. Wright is, and we got to see all of these characters. Did we really have to have Mo the Clown be there for the story of that case? No. Did Ben Woodman have to be the way he was for the crimes? No. But I found the characters' eccentric traits interesting, and I thought that the overall atmosphere and plot brought out some of the dark tones of Justice for All really well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'd admit, I actually see. The thing is, I like the over the top, personalities of the characters. I just feel like that the world building the case does bring, it feels like it's at the expense of the story for me, because a lot of it was again just shtick. It's entertaining, obviously. I liked parts of it, and there were some good characters. I liked the puppet. The puppet was probably my favorite part of the case.
No, I
just feel like to give some credit to the case, Gavin, is okay. So the kooky characters and stuff, I like the fact that Shu Takumi did say that he did this case to like kind of reflect on the family of game devs that made the game, so to make a family in a case. So that was cool. And the other thing is what's I gonna say? It's I think I forgot, but yeah, that was, yeah. There is the Connect team playing against a monkey. I think it's the best thing about the case. But yeah, that was the other thing. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think the other things that I really like, well, I definitely like about Turnabout Big Top is overarching plot and Justice for All. A lot of things happen relate to that. We have Francisca talking to Gumshoe and Phoenix in that snowy area, and we learn that's where we get the hints towards Miles Edgeworth, or the fact that that this is Francisca's pretty much her biggest, I guess, opposition towards Phoenix in the game and in the series currently. So I think it also, it just, I don't know. I totally see the complaint that all of the crazy, wacky characters take away from the overall story. I totally see that, but at the same time, it was just a chapter in the Ace Attorney trilogy that I think brought out the interactions between Phoenix, Pearl, and Maya very well.
Yeah. No, I'd agree.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An art gallery.
Okay, so to add on to that, like I think one of the things that is really good about Ace Attorney, and I kind of feel like it's not as well. I guess it's because of the whole game is right, but it's not as well implemented. The Spirit of Justice because it's a separate kingdom in a sense, but like the world building, because it's always been good about like not only taking us to different places, but like always reminding us they're around, they exist. Especially, I guess, Ace Attorney Investigation with its love of cameos and things like that, and it really makes the world feel whole and like it exists and interconnected. Like in other games, if you go to a world, you see the other world from there, that kind of feeling. And I know like Gavin wants a game, a Yakuza like Ace Attorney, where like you go to different places, that kind of thing. I think it will work in that sense because they already do that with the current game.
Yeah. No, I'd agree.
Okay. What are we talking about right now? I wasn't listening. I was trying to find. I was trying to find something.
Talking about world building, Big Top.
I have
Raw.
something to say about world building.
Yeah.
One of the things I love the most about Spirit of Justice's overall overarching plot was how the kingdom. You could make an argument what the kingdom itself of Quran wasn't necessarily the most fleshed out. You don't really go to all that many places, but the religion. Wow. I mean, for just one game, like one shot, I think we learned a lot more than I expected. I found that fascinating to learn about.
The world building of Quran is amazing. That's one of the best parts of A Spirit of Justice. Because it gives you a distinct feeling, gives you a distinct atmosphere. You know what this kingdom is. Like they give you such a vivid detail of it, and you
what
feel
can you
like
compare Quran to?
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry.
What could you?
What can you compare
Tibet,
like the kingdom of Quran to?
It is based on Tibetan culture. They said it. Yeah.
Wait,
so
actually,
the other thing I like about Quran is they didn't stop right there. And they did a lot of cultural research and like they went to a lot of lens for the art direction, but they even bothered to give us new themes for Quran, which I don't think any other game has done. So that was cool. Like I like a lot of the modern stuff that Yamazaki adds, like the memo system, so you know where to go, because God knows how lost I got in Trials and Tribulations.
Nice.
I was like circling places for like hours, and it's like, oh god, it's like, and then I find out I forgot to present something to Gumshoe, and it's like, oh my god. But yeah, it's so much. There's a lot of cool things they do, and I hope it does follow through with we see more modern stuff with Ace Attorney Switch whenever that is. But
I'd love that.
I have a question to ask.
It's also
like wait, was like, is Quran like an absolute monarchy, or was it confirmed it had some sort of like jury or congress? Because there's a blog I made on like Ace Attorney Amino, and it had a bunch of points about like the crown and stuff like that. So was it ever confirmed that it had congress?
So there was no congress confirmed, but they did have something. They did used to have a court system that was reminiscent of what's in California in the Ace Attorney series.
California in big quotation marks.
It's okay. Yes. Well,
so it's basically absolute monarchy. Then that's just fucking.
Oh, I mean,
I don't think everybody agreed with it. I think nobody wanted to be killed. And
But, like,
disagree.
the rebellion
there have been
either way.
There have been court systems similar to that in other countries, and also because of the added ability of the state to wield religion, I feel like that. I mean, I feel like obviously it's what's the word? It's over exaggerated, but I feel like it could be plausible in universe.
But that raises the point, right? Because in the final case, it's all three lawyers confronting Garan, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
no, it's two lawyers.
It's just two.
Okay, it's two. My bad. It's basically the crew just confronting Garan. Why doesn't Garan just say "shut the fuck up" and just has them seized on spot?
Okay, so that's something.
No,
that's
that's
something
not possible.
That's something that. Do you remember, Telly? I complained about that in the podcast. Oh, okay.
Because
that's fine. That's fine. Basically, well, here's my take on that because I think that's a great point. So the way I would have ended Spirit of Justice, nobody's gonna like this, but if they wanted me to believe Garen, because my problem is I think Garen was out of character in not telling them to fire. Once the 3D cutscene happens, when all of the Royal Guards, they run in, they're pointing the guns right at them. The fact that they don't do anything, even though Phoenix and Apollo keep talking about how they're going to die for the truth, and they take a long time to dethrone or to get Garen to try to do the the dance of devotion. It takes way too long to the point of where I'm like, I can't believe Garen didn't tell the guards to fire. And if it had to be this way, and I'm only saying if it had to be that the Royal Guard was going to come out, then Phoenix and Apollo should have died. Otherwise, Garen was out of character, in my opinion. Also, Garen murdered so many people. Why would she stop? These two lawyers are trying to dethrone her. I don't understand why you'd wait that long to tell the guards to shoot. I don't get it.
Wait, can I just say...
Uh-huh. Yeah. Why?
Yeah. What is it?
Right.
Yeah.
What about that? Sure.
My dad was in the building when the Queen burned it. That's why I am relevant.
I know people would be very upset. This was the end of the series, and the two of them died. But then my answer to that is, if you're not going to kill them off, then either don't have it take so long at that point for Garen to get to her breakdown. Basically, make it like a minute or two. Otherwise, I'm not buying it. Or two, don't have the Royal Guard come in at all.
Or
that's what you gotta do.
Another thing they could have done was just have the jury yell, "Don't shoot" or "Don't kill them." That would have been at least a bit more.
Well,
plausible,
but if you think about it, the jury will be shot then. The jury will be shot.
Why would anyone listen to the jury? Like,
Yeah,
you're basically
the monarch.
this all-powerful dictator who has control over the entire populace. You can't stop her.
Yeah,
you can't. There's no feasible reason why the guards aren't going to shoot them.
Exactly.
But she takes it and she goes like, "Okay, let me just screw myself over." Like, okay, nice one.
See, it's funny because
once the Queen was shot, everything went out the window.
Queen Amara starts talking for quite a while, and then Garen just takes no time at all, orders a guard to come back and shoot her in the back. Right? But when Phoenix and Apollo are trying to dethrone her, take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I feel like either the guards should have at least come in at a different time, maybe near the end, or just not come in at all, or they, again, as you said, should have just killed them off.
So I'd like to add that even if Amara was shot or not, she would still most likely cover for the culprit.
True.
Either way.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, Plus, like, you basically owe her for like covering you and stuff like that, and then you shoot in the back. Good job, Garan.
Next game, we will go to Korea and we will fight Kim Jong Un.
Oh, jeez. Like Phoenix is like, Apollo, get the tanks. It's
Get to the
oh
chopper.
my gosh. Like,
Oh my god.
I want someone to make a fan game of that right now. I need
Oh,
that to be a
God.
fan game.
Telly, you've always
Phoenix
talked
Wright.
about how the
Justice?
modern Ace Attorney games have stakes that are too high, and the moment that I was just completely on board with that opinion was when nobody fired. I mean, at that point, I was like, okay, no, you can't raise the stakes this much and just have it make no sense. You just got to take it back to basics at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, one carries Maya's clothes apparently.
I feel like, in a way, Spear of Justice was sort of like the polar opposite of Dual Destinies. Dual Destinies is like, oh, there's like barely any stakes at all, other than like the Dark Age of the Law, which is basically just a made-up boogeyman.
Well, they did have that sniper at the final trial
enough.
and the courtroom
Yeah.
It's like, why are you laughing? That's not funny.
By the way, but before you start, can I just say during Garan's breakdown, the witness stand disappeared. Did anyone notice that?
Oh, I did not. I'll have to look for that. That's
Really?
funny.
Yeah. I
have a theory about that, though.
Like,
I bet that has to do with frame rate.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like the guards were standing near the door, like they're about to shoot her, right? They're surrounding her, and then she was just like standing like in front of like the big ass like pool or some shit, and then like just the stand just disappeared for some fuck all reason during her breakdown.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It must be the frame rate because those 3D cutscenes truly chugged.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like Sheena is a kind. I don't know whether it's true or not for people, but I feel Sheena is a better version of the Phantom in a sense because no one knows who she is, and then she goes around working at least for an organization that we know about, and I don't know. It's hard to. Oh yeah, okay. I was talking about how because she works for someone, we know what she's trying to do, and you know she actually does stuff as opposed to the Phantom, which all he's doing. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like the Phantom was more of a cop out, if anything. It's like, oh, we didn't write in a villain, guys. Let's add a villain, and they didn't really give him anything.
It's like we don't need the Phantom to be someone we already know. It could be someone we've never heard of, but the point is like, it's like I also feel like it's easy to focus on. We don't know his name, we don't know what he looks like, but there's also we don't know a lot about him. Like I thought you think Callisto U was a better version of the Phantom. I think Joe Dark was a better version of the Phantom because there was a whole lot of mystery. Because correct, So because Gumshoe talks about like how there was a moment where Joe Dark was like he like murdered like 6 people in like 3 minutes or something. Like I remember it was a really dark moment. And then we have SL9, and it's like, do we know much about Joe Dark? Have we ever seen him alive?
Wait,
no.
Don't spoil Rise of the Ashes. I actually haven't played that one.
Okay. I won't say anymore.
I'll just say this: is that Joe Dark is something that we are told about, and it's not something we directly see as opposed to Sheena and Phantom, like, I suppose.
We don't have to see
what you mean, though.
We don't have to see every single one of the Phantom serial killings, but why don't we learn more about them? We only know that he killed Bobby Fulbright and Metis Sykes, right?
Yeah.
It's like that's it. It's like, but this guy. Oh my God, you're right.
Isn't that are those all lies though? I think he was lying the whole time, so it's like, yeah. I mean, those are true.
I feel like if
I
they
would,
would just...
I would buy that he was lying. I would buy that. But
yeah. Yeah. I meant the family part.
Okay.
He feels
Yeah,
sort
I
of like
don't
if they
remember,
made
but
Shelley deal a killer. It feels like if the Phantom more feels like if he's basically if they made Shelley deal killer the villain in Justice for All instead of Matt on guard, it would have been like far less interesting.
You know, I always thought like, why didn't we just say that Shelley the Killer was the sniper or something? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That makes a lot of sense. Oh, but Capcom doesn't like bringing back old characters. Remember that.
Oh, but they love bringing back old characters.
Yeah, they love bringing back.
They only
Literally
bring
just
back
bringing
old
back
characters
old
for like
characters.
5 minutes. Like, okay,
Yeah.
they haven't brought back Mia Fey. They haven't brought back maybe.
I hope not.
Okay, if they bring back Mia Fey, I'm gonna cry a river.
Oh God.
That'd be sad.
I feel like Mia Fey should like stay out now because her arc's. I feel like her arc's like
Really?
basically
Oh.
no trouble.
You know, there's
If
something
they brought her back, they'd be basically like beating a dead horse.
something else
good
that always
point.
bothered me about the Phantom 2.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's like, again, would this be a well-written plot point? No. Would this be kind of stupid? Yeah. But the only way, if we're going off of what Apollo Justice intended, then the only person the Phantom really, I'm not going to say could be, but probably should be. I know it would be such a bad plot point, but I'm going to say Christoph Gavin. Because, like, that.
I mean, if they foreshadowed it.
Because that's.
I get it though.
Yeah.
I kind of get where you're coming from.
Yeah, no, I see.
That's the only way you could have done it, I think. And even then, it wouldn't be very good.
It would tie into the Dark Age of the Law, and it would also, again, if they foreshadowed it, it would, I guess, kind of make sense. I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be a whole slew of problems with it, though. I definitely understand, but yeah.
The other thing about the Phantom is in the development process, they kind of said that.
You're lagging hot out, mate. You're lagging hot out.
Last minute, didn't even think about it or plan it. So it really shows like it's so random. It doesn't feel like it was built up, and that was on purpose. I guess it's to.
Oh, bro, you're lagging really hard now, bro. We can't hear you. We don't understand you.
You know it's. Oh, hang on. I'll come back. You guys go ahead.
All right,
speaking of the last chapter of Dual Destinies, I feel like Athena's also going on like Athena's sort of arc in the story. I feel like they were trying to do what they did with Edgeworth in the original game, but it doesn't really work since the whole reason I see the whole reason the backstory for Edgeworth works is because Edgeworth was kind of an ass, but you get to see this other side of him from his backstory, and solving it like actually feels satisfying. With Athena, she's sort of just she's sort of a guilty pleasure character for me because I like her, but I feel like she's more of just a Mary Sue with like a backstory, like a dark backstory, and I mean I can fully see that because
I agree. I so agree with you, man. She feels like a Mary Sue all the time with the dark ass backstory.
Well,
yeah, I want to like her character. I want to say her character.
Mary Sue is like is a TV trope for like a generic female character, basically.
An overpowered. Yeah. Nah.
I like Athena. Like she's sort of a guilty pleasure character for me. I want to say she's.
I just think like Athena is such a useless fucking character. She can do nothing in court, but like we still have her. She's completely useless in court. She doesn't have a purpose after Dual Destinies. So like, what's
other than the fourth chapter, but that's sort of filler.
The funny thing is, Athena can do everything, and then the next game she can do nothing.
Yeah. One of the things, like I don't think Case 5 is like completely Turnabout for Tomorrow, but I mean it's very flawed. But one of the things that I do really like was I did like how Athena's backstory was handled, how it was explored.
I liked.
And for all intents and purposes, it did tie to the main villain of the game. and Athena is an important character in Dual Destinies. So I gotta be honest with like the whole like earring thing, the space center, the dark past of Simon Blackwell. I genuinely enjoy that.
I do
without
like
that, I definitely think I'd have a much worse opinion of Athena.
Yeah. No, I liked her backstory. I feel like it fleshed her out as a character. I just feel it wasn't handled as well as, say, like Edgeworth's and Ace Attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I like the story, not the character.
Lag.
Yeah. See, Athena, I feel like they don't do a lot with her character in the game other than the 5th chapter. There's some subtle foreshadowing in the 3rd chapter, but that's like about it. And I like her backstory, obviously. I like her backstory in the 5th chapter, but that's really all we get to. That's really all we get for a long time. So
well, you do get the intro anime cutscene as well, though. Yeah. But yeah.
But I can see, because I like Athena. I think she's an okay character. I liked her backstory, and I like her design, her backstory. I can understand why other people don't like her as much.
You know, I am pretty mixed on Athena, but one character that one of the best things about Dual Destinies for me that I genuinely really liked and liked in Spirit of Justice was Simon Blackwell. I'm a big fan of Simon Blackwell.
Everyone loves Blackwell.
I see him as sort of a foil to Athena. He's sort of like a counterpart to Athena of sorts, which I like, because he sort of balances out. Athena's sort of a happy, sort of clumsy, not clumsy, but you know what I mean. Anime girl, and Simon Blackwell's like stoic. He's serious, but he's also like sarcastic.
Yeah, he's very sarcastic.
Yeah. Which I like.
I like the British edge they gave him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like also
Spirit of Justice. I liked how he was like, he's in Spirit of Justice. He was kind of like having PW, like first Ace Attorney game, Miles Edgeworth, but on your side. Like he just roasts Nayuta Sadmadhi like no problem.
Oh yeah, I love that.
He was actually I was surprised because when I started playing Case 4, Turnabout Storyteller, I was like, oh god, Simon Blackwell's the defense. This is going to go horribly wrong. It's going to be so cringeworthy. And I was surprised. I genuinely loved his performance in that case. And he was definitely one of the most helpful co-counsels we've had, which was really nice.
And listening to his conversations with Athena, his banter with Athena is like one of the best parts of that case.
Yeah, they go well.
I like how he held Athena up by her lapels. That was literally almost strangling.
Like, I think it's
that
weird
and Uendo saved the
Blackwell
case.
is the most helpful co-counsel because he's basically needed to be a helpful co-counsel. Because Athena doesn't know how to do her job. Like, it's been 2 games now, right? We've had no development to her character. And it's like, and she doesn't know how to defend properly. So why is she a defense attorney? How did she even pass the bar? She locks up like mid-trial and goes like, oh, I don't know what to do. So now Blackwell has to like bring her up by her lapels and like do her job for her.
Well, in terms of rating like Athena Sykes' performance as a defense attorney in Turnabout Storyteller, I didn't think she did that bad, honestly.
I feel like Nayuta was sort of manipulating her, which was, I mean, that sort of, it sort of actually makes sense.
That's what he does.
I like Nayuta, though. Like, on the topic of Nayuta, I mean, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I like Nayuta.
I actually agree with you. People, like a friend of mine says, like, oh, I really didn't like Nayuta, but I like that he kind of redeemed himself at the end of Case 5. I was like, huh, that was my least favorite part about Nayuta Sadmadhi, actually. I thought that was extremely weak, but in terms of him as a rival, oh my gosh, like that was good.
Yeah,
I thought.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Well.
So,
but yeah, with Sadmadhi,
I feel like Nayuta...
I felt like he because let's be honest, I think we're a lot of Ace Attorney games into the series, and it's becoming hard for rival prosecutors or just rivals, because like Shilong Lang, Justine Courtney, and Sebastian DeBest, they all count too. It's hard to make these rivals stick out, I think, for the writers, because a lot of things have been covered already. But
I think there's potential though.
I still think Nayuta shined through, because I think what he contributed was it was his devotion to the Quran religion, and basically the fact that he locked out his past self from his personality are things that we've just never had before. And I think what also makes Nayuta such an interesting rival to me is that he's definitely one of the smartest prosecutors we've had, because
he's very manipulative, and that's what I
he's
love
very
about
manipulative, and that's a trait Simon Blackwell has as well. Dual Destinies mentions that a lot. It's like, he manipulated me, but okay, just with Nayuta, it's like, it's gonna be pretty much impossible to find to create completely original rival characters for the series at this point. But you know what? I mean, if you just have some clever writing and some good dynamics and give them some unique traits, I think you could write anyone fairly well. I think Nayuta was just. I think above all else, I'm sorry, I'll finish this point. Above all else with Nayuta Sadmahi, the thing I liked the most was his calm demeanor. That was something I really liked.
Here's a better question. Here's a better question. Ladder or step ladder? Much better question.
No, okay, so here's my argument against that. So Nayuta the thing is, I like Nayuta as a concept. I like his character design, his art design. I even met a Nayuta cosplayer. I like the idea of Nayuta, but it's just if they didn't make him so childish and obnoxious in a sense, like I don't see a reason to in the first place. Like if they kept him like you said, the calm demeanor without calling people names and being tiring and all that, I think he'd honestly be fine, and I don't think everyone would hate him as much as they do. But and I kind of agree with your friend. To me, the redemption was the best thing about Nayuta as well. But like that's personal thing. But I just think that overall that if they had dispensed with the more annoying aspects for Nayuta, he would be fine, at least fine, if not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree to some extent, because I feel like the moments where he breaks character a bit, because he's calling people names sometimes, but I feel like, again, that's sort of part of his character, because while he is a calm demeanor, I feel like he has to be threatening, and I feel
because
I feel
what
like
makes Nayuta unique is that unlike every prosecutor before him, he truly he believed that. So, for example, Miles Edgeworth sometimes knew that Phoenix's client was innocent, right? But he wanted that pride back in the heyday, right? He wanted that pride, that Manfred that was inside him. Franziska von Karma, similar thing, wants to avenge her father. She doesn't care who's guilty. She needs to beat who essentially threw her father away. You can go through every single prosecutor for some reason like that. And Nayuta's is unique because he truly believes that they're guilty due to his religious beliefs. And what he says a lot of the time is he wants to get the defendant a guilty verdict. He wants to prosecute them because that calms the soul of the victim. I found that fascinating.
No, I agree.
I feel like Nayuta is a reflection of Karain itself, to be honest, which I really like. I like how he's spiritual. He brings a sense of spiritualism to the trials, which is something previous prosecutors have never done. And it makes it really interesting because even in the American trials, you can feel that sense of Karain sort of in the regular trials.
Yeah.
And while you're in Karain, he adds to the theme, because the whole theme of Spirit of Justice is, you know, the whole religious setting, the
modern philosophers,
the spirituality,
corruption.
spirit of justice.
Yeah.
I guess sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt for a second, but like after this discussion, do you guys just want to talk about the fan case that's on the stream? Since
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
that's
Can I just add one more thing?
I
Can
feel
I
like
just add one more thing?
yeah, I know, but like I was just saying after this discussion, since the
Sure.
point of this
After the discussion.
Also, can I just say that Nayuta's Death Slam is the most lamest out of them all. He just takes his like damn like anal beads off his neck and then just slams on the desk.
I mean, I think that's a nitpick, but sure. But I think
Yeah, that's
the
a
one-
total
the
nitpick,
one
but it's
last
so
thing-
lame.
the last thing I want to say about Nayuta, I think this is an element of the Ace Attorney series that has never been analyzed before. And it's something I love to think about. I love thinking, and we talked a little bit about this with Athena and Turnabout storytelling. But what I really like is seeing who's strong and where in terms of actual performance in court. Phoenix Wright, very strong. He is absolutely strong as a defense attorney. He, as an opponent in Spirit of Justice, he maintained ground. You know, you can go to Apollo Justice, Francisca von Karma. What I liked about Nayuta Sadmati is no matter where you would place him, he would not change. He had no weak spot. So even at co-counsel in the final case, sure, you let Garon do a lot of the work, but he's still on his A game. So that's something that I like to think about is who is, on a more objective point, who is actually like the best prosecutor? Who's the best defense attorney? I think that's always fun to think about, you know? Well, I think...
I feel like Athena being inexperienced, arguably.
Telly, I
is part
think
of
the
her
way to put it
character.
is everyone is competent, I think.
Yeah,
I think is the way to put it. It's just, except Athena. But I do think it's fun to compare because I definitely think some are actually better than others.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd agree.
Is Doe flammable?
Alright, so let me see what this fan case is.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look.
Like on that base. Sorry.
Oh god. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like,
Yeah.
By the way, who thinks it's weird that like in case 4, like that fucking balloon tit bitch or something, like she just fucking like buries the dough rather than burn it or something?
I mean,
I think the dough would be very. I think the dough is very thick. I think that would have taken too long.
Taken too long, but she still would have had enough time if you think about it. Like she had all the time she needed before the body was found.
Maybe.
my question is that, like, okay, for Ace Attorney protagonist, right? Should they have more of a distinct personality, or should they still be blank slates? Because I feel like they are inching with a bit of experimentation with every iteration. So, like, what is your opinion on that?
I think that they should have more of a stronger personality, so like the story can develop in a more like unique way. Like, say, for example, like bland characters, like how Phoenix is mostly bland, right? So like the case doesn't really change or like develop in such a unique way that you feel like you're changing it, you're doing something with it. But it does take you out of control of the character, so I can see both ways of that. I think there should be a middle ground mostly.
I feel like it worked for Phoenix Wright because obviously he was the first protagonist in the series, and the original game was more about Edgeworth than it was Phoenix. And they sort of developed this character as the games went on. But I feel like with subsequent protagonists, I feel like they should have been more rounded out characters because, again, they'd want to mix up the way they develop the story and characters because the same blank slate characters aren't going to be unique at all.
Yeah, my thing is that, like, with I was telling Kelly the other day, I don't care, and that's kind of exactly why, because I don't feel like I know him. Like, okay, I like Hobo Nick, I did say that, but like the original iteration, the trilogy iteration, we only know he had a girlfriend in college, and that's okay. Okay, I told you before that I didn't like Phoenix Wright that much in the trilogy. Hello? Yeah. I'm trying to explain myself. So the thing is, it's like someone said earlier that Phoenix is very much like personality, character, backstory, I guess is the best way to him and stuff, and it's hard for me to get into Phoenix in a sense, and like all we know is the first case of trials and tribulations about him, everything that happened there, and that's all we know about the original Phoenix, and that's why I don't know, he feels like a lot weaker than like Apollo in a sense, because as a protect that way. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he feels like it's not like a small difference, you know what I mean? It's like that's why I don't like Phoenix that much in the first place. Yeah.
I feel like in Spirit of Justice, Phoenix was basically a hurdle for Apollo to, I guess, get over. Because his whole development...
Which is so odd, in my opinion. I'm the same way. It's like I think they fleshed out a lot of what they set out to do, but I think a lot of the concepts,
I feel like
it's just like why is this happening? It's just like the whole dark thing. It's like, why don't you just like take that time for Nayuta or something? It's like, why does it have to be Apollo Justice that gets all of this new information? We don't need it. But
I feel like Apollo. Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I disagree with you, Telly, on the civil trial. I actually really liked how the civil trial was executed in Spirit of Justice, but aside from that, I totally see, like, this whole Apollo overcoming Phoenix stuff is just, it doesn't make sense, given how an Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, Phoenix wanted Apollo to go on and, you know, do good things for the legal system.
Yeah. I
Actually,
I feel like...
I mean, that's totally fine. I disagree, because I actually feel like for Yamazaki, the civil trial was extremely tame and not at all over the top. And I thought Phoenix wasn't antagonistic at all. Maybe it got a little odd in Kurine Village, like right before the trial and the first investigation. Like, that was a little weird, but... Yeah. No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
That's not...
I mean, the thing about...
But I just feel like with the civil trial, I think, and I've said this before, but I think Phoenix Wright was put in that position was interesting because Phoenix Wright, little did we know, is the most respectful opponent to the player in the series history. I mean, Professor Layton was more threatening in PO vs. AA as an opponent. I mean, that's saying something. Phoenix Wright had a lot of respect for Apollo during the civil trial. He just simply, he was blackmailed by Paul Ateshin, so he was just simply there to protect Maya. And that's a pretty wishy-washy plot point, but I thought that Phoenix was extremely respectful and in character, I would say. Like, this is how I pictured Phoenix to be if he was on the other side. He would be pretty much the same, but now that he knows Apollo, it's not like he's against, where there's a reason to hate him,
Right.
Well, I can explain that because it's true. Everything that happens regarding the civil trial was already done in Farewell My Turnabout. It's a total retread, but the difference is in Farewell My Turnabout, the only reason we did both save Maya and get on guard,
convicted.
Yeah, convicted was because of circumstantial evidence from Francisca von Karma. You have to remember that. But in the civil trial, it was all set in stone,
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about the Miles and Truth games? I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Sure.
Ada.
Yeah, that's true. Emma probably knew it.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it, yeah.
Inga. Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
Well,
see, that's a very valid point because my only possible answer to that, Telly, would be that Inga could have done something horrible to Maya. But as you mentioned, nobody knew about it. So, no, there's no way to explain that.
Did
it is?
Did Phoenix know where Maya was being held, or was he just told that Maya was being held captive?
Yeah, he was just told that Maya was being held, and he didn't even know Maya was there in the first place. And it's like, there was no proof, there was no voice. Well, why? Yeah, back to what Teddy was saying, and look outside everything. It is contrived and it is forced.
I did not catch anything you said, bro. I did not catch anything you said.
I'll repeat myself to add
Right.
to Kelly's
I'm
point, right?
back. Finished my Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I lost.
Can you hear me? Okay, so
yeah, I can.
What I was saying is the whole thing is contrived in the first place because to look outside like the fourth wall and stuff, in a sense that everything it's Yamazaki's habit of elevation, like making the stakes higher and higher and higher, and it's just a consequence of that. And it's like it's so forced, and it's just to make Apollo look better, and it feels like that's all that is. Like if let's say the whole investigation in Korean happened and they got the orb, they moved on to Korean. I don't know. Personally, I would feel it's a lot better because it makes sense. Everything should end in Korean, and why we hanging around in civil trial for? I don't know. To me, it feels like padding out, and
I gotta go, guys. Sorry.
It feels, yeah. It's just padding out and stuff, and it's feel grand.
Jesus Christ!
You're cutting out.
Crap! I can't seem to be hearing you.
Yeah, I don't
know if it's like
gonna work.
Long, neat, gracious as it is with civil.
Wait, story. Oh, Tully, will you keep this like chat like up for like a long time? Is this just a temporary thing? This one, the Mason system one. This one, Discord. Yeah, this server, yeah. All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right.
Oh, I got one thing. Okay.
Should...
I will say that while the civil trial was contrived in a lot of ways, I did like how the final case tried to have both. It was trying to be two cases in one, because you go Korean, then you go to California, then you go to Korean, then you go to California, and then you get both in the final case. I like that. I thought that was kind of neat. Like there's two killers, two breakdowns. It's two of everything. So I did like that, but that was it. That's all I have.
Oh wait, Tully, can you maybe add another voice channel or a text channel just so even when a stream's not up, we can still have discussions here?
Yeah, also, one thing. Okay, so the whole thing where you said that this has kind of been bothering me for a while. You know how you said that Dirk was fanficky because it's Apollo forced because the excuse of Apollo of forcing him to forget is okay. So I mean, okay, I always felt there was a reason for that. I thought it was, I don't know, because I think that there's the explanation for that was because he didn't want to give himself false hope. Haha, they are reference, but I don't know.
No, you came from a lawyer that killed kingdoms.
And to be fair, I do remember. I think in Apollo Justice, it said that Apollo had another dad or something. I don't know, but
nope. Mm-hmm.
Wait. What?
Yeah.
Trials and Tribulations had retcons.
That's the problem with
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Maybe like compared to like, for example, like a North Korean refugee or something, like they probably wouldn't want to talk about their past or like their
relevant
background,
to
I
the
guess.
plot.
So I guess it would make sense if Apollo would say it, like sort of, if you like compare it to something like real world, but it's so, I guess.
Thankfully, with Jove Justice, the way he died, thankfully that retcon doesn't really affect anything. We just kind of replaced what was said in Apollo Justice with a fire, and we're good. But there are definitely some things that are much more complicated, and yeah, it's kind of upsetting. Yep.
And hey, there's always fan fiction.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, in a way, you could consider it fan fiction because it wasn't made by the original creator. It was written by someone else. So technically, you could consider it that. It's official fan fiction.
Well, Telly, one thing that I always say ever since I played Spirit of Justice is, it's like, this isn't like Clay Terran, where we can just complain about it and then move on, right? Like, Clay Terran doesn't really affect Apollo in the grand scheme. But everything that's introduced about Apollo's backstory in Spirit of Justice, there is no escaping that. I mean, that is huge. It's huge. It's such grand details. But you can't really. That's the sad thing.
All right, Christoph. I just gave you a subscribe.
Oh,
I think the thing I would like to finally say is that I wish, like Shu Takumi did do this, but like I wish we went back to the simpler cases, like without talking about time traveling and kingdoms that kill lawyers and space, and it's like just have a simple case where someone kills someone for some reason and we had to figure out why. I mean, I don't know. It seems so hard these days, but
it might not sound like it, but Turnabout Time Traveler is exactly what you're talking about, even though the name
it
kind
is
of
in a
implies
sense, but it has to have a gimmick for some reason. Like there was no reason for that. Like just have it basic is all I'm saying.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I don't want to spoil it for Tally, but there's a very good reason time travel, quote unquote, was there.
I just find it. I'm not gonna say it, but I find it weak. I get it. I get what you're saying, but yeah, that's fine. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, so I saw that you were playing Turnabout to El Dorado. Have you? This isn't really a spoil, I don't think. Have you seen like the whole love triangle thing that I think was going on? I mean, what is this? Turnabout Academy?
That's a good one.
Christoph,
Turnabout Academy, except the mystery is decent.
Can I tell Christoph something? Okay, Christoph, there's a channel that you can watch. He's really entertaining, and like that will help you like improve like your content if you like really want to improve. His name is Scott the Waz. He just makes like general.
I love Scott the Waz. Yeah, I watch him.
I love Scott the Waz. Damn. Okay, continue, Telly.
Well, I don't know if that would really help me improve. I mean, don't do anything similar.
Well, wait. I'm just looking at your channel right now. It looks like you just do like reviews and like discussions and stuff like that. So I would assume that you do similar content to Scott.
Nope, not even close. Not even close.
I mean, I'd like to do a review, mainly of just the two fan games, of Ace Attorney, the two full ones, I believe, Conflict of Interest and Contempt of Court.
Oh yeah, I've heard about those.
And
cool.
I want to do it before Storyteller does it, just because I feel like I kind of steal his opinions, and that it's like kind of bandwagon on whatever he says.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's normal.
Hey y'all, Scott here.
Can I
Hey,
plug
y'all,
my
Scott
can I
here.
plug my channel first?
Great. Okay. All right. I'm gonna plug Guilty Clavier Gavin. I have a Dual Destinies parody on it.
Hi, Undercover Troll. Subscribe to my channel. I do DR content, which
ban all you guys. No promotion.
No, I'm not kidding though. Guilty Clavier Gavin is a channel I opened, and currently it has a Mimi Dual Destinies parody. So there's that. Then there's IKG, but that's not important.
I like to promote. Just subscribe to Scott the Walls right now. You'll be happy. Hey y'all, Scott here. Stream over.
for like a minute or two, but
Wait, what are you gonna do the again? Another stream. Alright.
Alright.
That's good. By the way, I'll put up a new text channel, or just use the same one that we have now, just so like we can have our own discussions, like just in case you're not online.
live stream.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh no!
Okay, so I just realized that my microphone wasn't as loud as it could have been. It might have even been muted, so if that's the case, I am so sorry. I don't really know what to say. Thank you guys for watching the stream. Peace. Bye.